Have a look at the headlock here.
Episode 111 of Chet and John's Reassuringly Finite Gaming Playlist. My name is Chet Roivers. John Denton is not with us this week. He is on holiday, so standing in for him once again is former... Well, is it on hiatus or is it dead?
It's dead. We killed it.
Joypod. Former Joypod presenter and co-creator, now turned embittered family man, David Turner.
It's dead. And I wish I was too.
We're going to be going through the usual couple of top 10 lists, although I presume Dave's not been playing that much gamage, so it's not going to... I mean, how these 10 games you've got, over the course of how long is it?
About 2 years. No, they're quite recent, actually. My child is going to be talking to a psychiatrist eventually about how I ignored him during the first couple of years, but yeah, no, it's quite recent.
Okay, well, let's go then. Let's kick it off.
Right, well, let's start with the most recent then. My number 10 is Stick It to the Man, which is the new PS Plus title that we're all really excited for, aren't we? In fact, actually, I was going to slate this today because I played it last night and I was well grumpy. I was wondering why the hell... Do you know what it is? Have you played it? It's an old Vita game.
Yeah, I played it on PS3 and really liked it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a side-scrolling, everything's made out of paper, and it's supposed to be funny, and I was playing it last night and getting angry because it wasn't funny, and it was like, oh, great, it's another paper thing. It reminded me of Doki Doki Universe, which I know is... come out more recently, so maybe one copied the other, and I just thought, why am I playing this? This is adding nothing to my life. And then before I come on the podcast, I went back to it and tried it again, and really liked it. So the sort of main hook is that you can walk around this world reading the minds of people, and then you've got to solve little puzzles and try and make their lives better. It does a really cool thing on the PS4 where when you're reading someone's mind, it comes through the controller. So
that's wicked.
Yeah, it really surprised me. First time I did it, I heard all this chatter coming through the pad, and it's quite quiet as well. Usually, that fucking microphone is like that speaker is like really loud whenever you use it. Well, it's quite quiet on this one, so I was kind of holding the pad to my ear when I was reading people's minds, and it was just a nice little touch. And yeah, it made me laugh a couple of times, and I thought, hold on, this might actually be worth playing. So I'm excited. Very early on, but I'm definitely going to play some more of it.
Good.
So,
well, I'm
free,
glad you didn't. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't bail on it because it is actually legitimately funny and quite fun, especially as it gets more complicated.
I think I was just grumpy last night. You know when you sit down and play a game and you're like, "Why are you doing this to me?"
Yeah.
And it really is just my bad mood. So I kind of regret. Well, I'm glad I played it before I come on here, before I started going, "Oh shit," when it's clearly not.
Have people been having a pop at this as like a shit freebie?
I don't think so. Have they? I mean,
it's the way you said. The one we're all really looking forward to.
No, I was joking. No, I mean, there's a lot of people complain about these PS Plus titles and the fact that they're not, £50 games that come out last week. They get furious, all entitled and stuff. But I haven't really enjoyed the recent bunch of games, but that hasn't bummed me out too much. This one I'm going to stick with for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing service. You're getting all these brilliant games, whether you like them or not, they're there for you. And this one seems to be pretty good. It looks incredible on the PS4 as well, even though it's all like paper stuff. It really looks smart. So, yeah, looking forward to playing more.
Good. Oh, well, I'm glad you didn't bail on it. I'll have a look at it. I'll download it again just to have a look because it looked plenty good enough on the PS3. But it'd be interesting to see what it looks like on the PS4 anyway.
It's worth it, just the speaker stuff to try again because it was just like a nice little touch.
Yeah, it sounds it. Okay, all right. Well, my number 10 is a game called Fisher Price Giggly Gang on the iPhone, iOS. I downloaded it because some schmuck thought it would be funny, I assume. Have you played this, Dave?
Yes, I don't understand what it is. So, I was the one that told you to download it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking for stuff to make my boy laugh, and he's not into apps. He's not into screens that much at the moment, unless there's football going on, and he likes the big green patch on the telly. So I was looking for little apps or whatever, and I come across this Giggly Gang thing, and it's got levels, but you don't do anything, do you?
No,
Did
you don't.
You sort of touch the screen and it makes a giggle, and then a character sort of, it looks like it's supposed to be a game, but it's not, because you drag your finger and a character follows your finger giggling, and then you let go and it disappears, and there's no goal, but there's levels, so I don't know how you complete a level when there's no goal. And the more you tap it, the more there's all these different, it's like a really bad dream. Like it's a fucking nightmare.
Is it? Do you know? Is this Giggly Gang a real? Is that like a? Is this a spin-off from a TV program? You don't know.
No idea. I just saw it and I thought, what is this? This is confusing the shit out of me. I bet Chet will like it.
Well, I wouldn't say that I liked it. First of all, the Giggly Gang are 6 circles. They're just 6 circles, 6 smiling cushions. And I'm like, well done, whoever created this. It's just the 6 faces of different colours. Did you see there's different modes? There's a mode where you can actually record your own laughs.
Yes, I saw that. How creepy is that?
It is weird. And then you tap the screen like mad, and it turns the audio into a white noise mess of all the sounds together. It's just, I mean, I don't...
You get toys like that these days where you can, like, press the bear's belly and you can record a message and stuff like that. My boy's got it's like a little rattle where if you push a button in the middle, right now it's my wife's mum going, "It's Nana," coming out of it, and it's fucking really creepy.
Yeah.
I want to chuck it out. Yeah. It's scaring the shit out of me.
But yeah, I mean, I have nothing much to say about it. There's another mode where you sort of tap a keyboard at the bottom of the screen and you tap one of these little.
Played this. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I just thought I'd have a look at it. I mean, this is all done in 5 minutes. But then this woman starts singing a song about all the little faces, and the lyrics are just like, I don't even know. It's for very young children. I mean, I don't even know why we talked about it for this long. For God's sake, change the subject.
For very long children, 6 foot tall children. So I don't. My number 9 is Hitman Go, which is the new Hitman board game on iOS devices. Is it on Android? I don't know. It's brilliant. Have you played it?
No, I've seen footage of it. It does look interesting.
Oh, you should absolutely play it. It's really, really good. Firstly, it looks incredible. I love the art style. I think it just looks really smart. And also, it's a really interesting game. It'll test. It's so simple. Basically, it's a board game where you move the Hitman character. What's his name? Agent something. Barcode head. You can move him like up, down, left or right, but every time you move, your enemies on the board move at the same time, and you kind of have to manipulate your character around to put the enemies where you need them, to take them out one by one. And the idea is you get from point A to point B. Then once you do that, it gives you objectives to do within the level that you've just completed. So it'll come up, well done, you've done this level. You can either move on or you can do it again, but try and do it in less than 5 moves. And, I think John mentioned this either last week or the week before. You'll be sitting there going, well, that is impossible, surely. But then when it clicks and you work it out, you get like this great feeling of satisfaction that you're a brainy person. But yeah, you should absolutely play it, because it's there's no microtransactions. It doesn't feel like it's trying to push anything on you, no adverts, anything like that. It's a clean game, great art style, well put together, and it's actually fun to play. And I haven't said that about an iOS game for a long time.
How much did it cost?
I think it was like £2, but it's definitely worth it, because there's a lot of content in there, a lot of content, so it'll keep you busy for a long time.
There's no microtransactions at all.
Not that I've seen. If they are buried. I can't see where there would be, because it's not like you can... Or maybe there's a tip system, so maybe you can buy more tips. I don't know. But I haven't used any of the tips, because what's the point? As John said, exactly the same. It's like, the satisfaction you get out of the game is by working out a puzzle, basically. Where's the satisfaction in buying the answer? There is none. But yeah, really good game. Well recommended.
Cool. Okay. Well, no, that's on my mental list of games to play on iOS. Definitely. I was what the hell's his name? Agent what?
Agent Barcode Head. I think we established. It's like it's a number, isn't it? It's like Agent
46, Agent 47.
46?
Of course it is.
47.
47. Yeah.
Do you play the Hitman games? I've never been into them.
Yeah, I mean, I like them enough. I mean, I'm one of the only people that quite like the last one. But yeah, I mean, I don't love them or anything. They're all right.
Well, a few people have said about Hitman Go that it doesn't really need to be, Hitman at all. They've just slapped the name on it. I'm kind of glad they did slap the name on it, because I think this would have just fallen through the net if it didn't have Hitman attached to it. It's worthy of playing, because it's a good game, and it doesn't ruin the Hitman name in any way whatsoever. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that they have attached that franchise to it, because I think it's worthy of its name.
Yeah. Okay. Well, excellent. I'm going to check that out in the next week or two. My number 9. I wasn't going to talk about this game. My number 9 is Soul Calibur Lost Swords on the PlayStation 3, which came out at the end of last week. I think it's completely free to play. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. It's free to play.
It's free to play, but I'm pretty sure you can't. There's no competitive element. I think there's a way that somehow you can help your friends out asynchronously by AI or something. I don't know, but it's basically the single player component of a Soul Calibur game. It's just one player Soul Calibur. I don't understand that, because I don't. Where did the idea come from? Because Soul Calibur, more so than any other fighting game, the single player component is murderously frustrating. If you couldn't play that game on multiplayer, I don't know why you'd play it. So this is a real mystery to me. It's constantly, because it's always online, it's constantly talking to a server. So the loading times are absolutely interminable. I mean, I started the game, I tried to do a mission, and it said, oh, this mission's locked. Go and buy a premium treasure chest. And I was like, oh, dear. So I went to the shop, which took an age to load, to find out how much one of these chests was. And then, you can have one for free, without telling you how much they are when you want to buy one. But I bought that. I was like, okay, I went back.
What was in it?
I didn't open it. You're supposed to use it to get into this, one of the first quests or challenges or something, but I went there to select this challenge, and it said, "Go, what are you doing? Change character first and put on another costume." Turn it off. I was like, I may give it one more chance, but it's infected with that really terrible shit that a lot of free-to-play games are, unfortunately. I just wanted to have a game on it, and 10 minutes of fucking around in menus, and yeah, I didn't have a go, so I turned it off. I wasn't going to mention it.
That is the free-to-play thing, isn't it? I just want to play a game. No, fuck off. Go away for a bit. No, don't tell me to go away for a bit. You're a video game. Stop telling me to do stuff. Just let me play you shit.
Yeah, I mean, it might even get 10 times worse than that down the road, because I can't vouch for it, because I just walked away after the first annoying thing, or rather the third, if you count how many times I had to piss around in menus. But anyway, yeah, Lost Swords, I'll talk about it in the future, perhaps, if I can be bothered to go back to it.
I look forward to it. Okay, my number 8 is not a recent game. I played it ages ago, but I've not heard you or John mention it, so I need to know if you've played this. Are you playing The Walking Dead Series 2?
John did the first episode, and I haven't. No,
I cannot stress this enough. You played through the first one, right?
And loved it, yeah.
Yeah, you're insane not to be playing this at the moment. You're insane not to be playing it. I mean, I was really sceptical about where they were going to go in the second series, and I was very worried when they said, "Yeah, we're keeping some of the characters from the first series. It's not a completely new story, and you'll be controlling Clementine." And I was thinking, "Oh, this just reeks of awful." And then you heard stories about some of the writers moving on and stuff like that, and I thought, yeah, this series is going to be really bad. It's not. The first episode's good. It's not like amazing, but it's good. It holds the Walking Dead name up well, so that's good. It's definitely better than the 400 Days DLC. The second episode is one of the best episodes in the whole of the Walking Dead video game series. It's incredible. It was really, really good, and it's just frustrating that there's a big gap between 2 and the next one. We're still waiting for episode 3, but you're doing yourself a disservice by not playing this game at the moment. I can't recommend it enough, and I really want to hear everyone talk about it because it's been quite quiet, hasn't it?
I mean, it's a real shame because I really did think the first one was quite amazing, but there's something. But when it was over, I was like, I'm kind of glad that's over because it's just so heavy duty, and the thought of going through it again is quite grueling. I don't know.
You don't. I mean, this one, episode one's very dark. Episode two has. I mean, there's one moment in episode two that gave me the biggest grin that I've probably got from a video game in a long, long time. And all right, it's only like a simple thing, but because that game series is so dark and bleak, any sign of hope really sort of just, gives you such an injection of happiness that you're like, fuck yeah. I mean, you're so attached to these characters that when they're happy, you're happy too. And they nail that in the second episode. They absolutely nail it. But yeah, I mean, I'd completely written this series off, and I was worried about it coming out, especially alongside everything else that they're doing. I mean, The Wolf Among Us, and they're doing this weird Borderlands thing, but they absolutely smashed this. You need to get on it.
I probably will. The problem is now I'm sort of midway there will be a sale on the season pass and stuff. What are you playing on? What
format? Oh mate, what are you doing? It's like £3 an episode and they're like 2 hours long. It's well worth it.
Yeah, I'm broke. I'm fucking broke. I mean, at the end of the day, it's hard paying full whack for something when there will be a they always do sales on them at this sort of around this sort of time. What are you playing on? Are you playing on 360?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
How lousy is the engine?
It's better than it was in The Wolf Among Us, but it's still not. It's not perfect, but it's certainly an improvement over The Wolf Among Us and season one, I think.
Did you play the Wolf Among Us?
I did only the first episode, and I thought, yeah, that looks all right, but I wasn't anywhere as invested in it as I was The Walking Dead. Obviously, because I knew the characters more in The Walking Dead, but I just kind of thought, I'm not going to play everything Telltale come out with because they're coming out with too much at the moment. Chill out, lads. Chill. Okay. But no, if the content's as good a quality as The Walking Dead has been, then yeah, I'll play most things. But I don't know, The Wolf Among Us didn't really grab me.
Oh, it did me. I'd be more inclined potentially to play that if I had to pick one of them.
You're an insane man.
You don't know. I mean, what if it all goes to hell after the first 2 episodes?
It could do, but that second episode is worth it. Trust me, it's one of the best ones they've done. It really is. It's brilliant, and it's just got. I cannot believe that they're still doing moral choices where you'll be sitting there going, I don't know what I'm doing. There's one moral choice in episode 2, which clearly has no direct impact on anything. Right? It's not like a, hey, Clementine, you can kill this person or kill this person. What are you going to do? It's such a little thing, but you'll agonise over it for a good minute or so. Just as the time is slowly trickling away, you're like, I don't know which one to do. And that's what The Walking Dead's all about. It's all about moral choices that are not signposted. And it just continues to deliver. It just continues to do it. What are you doing? Stop. Let's stop recording. Can you just play it now?
I will probably play it in the next few months.
I will give you £3 for the first episode.
They're not that cheap, are they?
Yeah, they're like, I think it's like £3.50. It's basically cheaper than a pint. I know that much because I remember thinking, well, I can either have a pint or play a bit of Walking Dead. Rather play a bit of Walking Dead.
All right. Do you play them on your own?
Yeah. It's not like FIFA. Can't take it online. What do you mean?
No,
what, like have someone there with me?
Me and my girlfriend passed the pad.
Jo, she hates video games.
Oh, I know she does, but this is slightly different, isn't it? I mean, it's much...
Yeah, she's just there's no Jo. Come on, I know you hate video games and like horror and stuff like this, but just sit and watch me play this zombie Holocaust video game where I have to decide what to do. The closest she came was Beyond Two Souls, and after about a minute of watching me play that, she got angry and told me to turn it off. So.
All right. Okay. All right. That's out then. Okay, all right. Well, I'll play it in the next card. I will. I've always intended to. It's just the problem with playing games is that you never have enough time to play everything, and that just got lost.
It makes me angrier. The thing is, there's no excuse, and every excuse you come out with is making me more and more angry. So,
I've got every excuse, especially just a lack of time. But I will play it. Don't worry. Chill yourself.
Okay, I'm chill.
Okay, all right. My number 8. Again, I won't talk about this too long because I spoke about it last week. It's Mario Golf World Tour on the 3DS. It's really very, very good. I'm continuing to play it here, and I'm glad it's on my 3DS permanently because it's just something I'm going to pick up and play on and off. I spoke about it last week, but I really can't stress enough this incredibly subtle putting mechanic that they've implemented really cements it as a legitimate golf game. I mean, it's not like, and there are power-ups and stupid hazards and stuff that threaten to turn it into sort of mini golf at points, but it's not ruinous like, say, Camelot, who made this, also made Mario Tennis Open on the 3DS from 2012, I think, and that was really fun, but it was also a bit fucked really as a game. It wasn't really a tennis game, whereas this is definitely a golf game, and it is just very weird how a formula as old as this, because this is essentially still the same game as the first NES golf. It's the same thing. It can still provoke the most extreme reactions. I mean, I haven't played this in public, but when you nail a really, really long distance putt, it's like nothing else. You just want to jump up and just scream. And also, there was a bit of a stink, people saying that it's the end of civilization, blah, 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 because this is the first ever Nintendo Season Pass. As Nintendo have stressed, there is a lot of content on the cartridge, as much as there has ever been in a Mario Golf game, and I think it's not lacking at all. The RRP of the game is £35, but I've looked online and everywhere selling it, every single website that's selling this game is selling at £27, and the season pass is just over £10, I think. So for £2 on top of the recommended retail price, you could have a lot of downloadable content plus the game, which is, but you don't need it because the game that you get in the box is plenty enough content. So yeah, it's really good. If you're thinking about it, I'd say take the plunge.
I think maybe I should. I love golf games. Like, I really love them. I hate golf.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Everybody's Golf World Tour is still one of my favourite games on the PS3. Yeah, absolutely love it. Maybe I should look into that.
Yeah.
My number 7 is EA Sports is showing you the World Cup through the medium of video games. 2014, I think it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, God knows what that game's called.
I like it. I mean, it's FIFA, and it's got the whole carnival, the World Cup feel around it. But I was playing with my sort of half brothers, and we didn't have a game where we didn't, like, the scores were 10-8 or 12-7, stuff like that. Literally every shot we were shooting was going in the back of the net, like flying into the back of the net. I found it so easy to score in that game that it was funny, right? Because there was a goal going in every 2 minutes. But I just thought, is this like this for real? Like, if I played this online, would there be 10 goals going in every game? Or did you not experience that?
Not really, but then again, I played through plenty of the single player component, but no, I didn't. Have you just got it on like the lowest difficulty setting or something?
The default, whatever the default was, we didn't touch the difficulty setting whatsoever.
Well, they import it. I mean, whatever it would have been on FIFA 14, they import it from that. So
didn't I play that on professional? Is it professional? You got world class,
semi-pro, and then pro. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, pro. Right? Yeah, I play it on professional. So if they've imported that, then there must have been a bug or something then. I didn't have the internet, so it didn't update when I put it in. So maybe there was a bug before an update or something. But genuinely, my first game that I played, I beat the kid 12-6. And then the next game I played, it was like 13-8. And I was just going, what is going on? It's really weird. Every time I was getting the ball, I was just booting it from outside the area. It was going top right-hand corner. But yeah, I mean, the presentation's nice. I can't believe it's not on next-gen consoles.
Yeah,
don't understand that. What are they thinking?
I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. But yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it briefly in a bit. It is funny though, if that's really a bug. There's probably some kid out there who hasn't had the internet for 2 weeks and thinks he's the greatest player. He's going to come plummeting down to earth when he goes online finally.
It is hard that you're playing like you're having normal score lines like 1-0, 0-0, 2-1,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre. It was really bizarre. And then when the two brothers played each other, again they scored about 15 goals in one game. So it wasn't just like I was kicking their ass. It was just goals flying in left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Still, it was
Weird.
entertaining.
I bet.
And
I wish real football was more like that.
Those shots of people watching it out in the streets of Brazil was quite. That was quite entertaining.
Yeah, there are some holes in the presentation. I'll touch upon them briefly in a bit.
Excellent.
But okay, my number 7 is Battlefield 3, not Battlefield 4. I was
playing
having
Battlefield, chaps.
Yeah, but Battlefield 3, don't you know? I was around a mate's house and he just came across Battlefield 3. He's like, I wonder what this looks like. We thought, hey, let's stick it on. And there are still people playing it. Very few, but there are still people playing it. And we had some amazing games. I mean, by God, it's ugly. I didn't realise it at the time quite, but we really did need the new consoles because it's really quite murky looking. It feels so strategic because you can still plan things with so much fewer players. When you have, say, 10 tickets left in Rush, you can put your heads together. Even if you're not talking to your team, you can completely change your tack and you can make a difference. I just thought if only there was a small Rush option. I mean, there's Squad Rush on Battlefield 3. There's no equivalent on Battlefield 4. You can. John told me that you can now rent your own servers, so you can make game types like that yourself, which I assume is the idea.
PS4?
I assume on all formats. They usually bring them out on all formats.
Oh right.
But yeah, it was also extremely nice that we played for a couple of hours and the game just worked. That was the most inviting thing. We had, game after game, and it didn't endlessly fuck up. And people were running away to cover when you were shooting at people. They'd run behind walls and stuff because it's legitimate. This isn't slavishly trying to mimic Call of Duty. I mean, it's not as bad as we thought it was after the beta, Battlefield 4, but because you can build your field upgrade meter a little bit, but you die too quickly in it. It's basically Call of Duty. It is the Call of Duty game that EA have always wanted to make. And it was just nice. There was just strategy, dropping health packs and all that shit. And then, but after all of these great games, we got to, I can't remember the name of the level now, but our little bird got hijacked. They had their little bird and they were just doing donuts around our spawn death straight away, and I was like, I hate this game, I'm never going to play it again, turned it off. But yeah, no, we did have. Go on.
But Battlefield's got away from me now. I think I got a little bit frustrated with all the faults, and then I think what really killed it was when they went, we're not, I know you've mentioned it on the podcast a few times, but when they said, we're definitely focusing on fixing the game now before we release any DLC. And then they announced some DLC. And we're like, yeah, but this is still broken. Shh, don't worry about that. Buy some more stuff. And I was like, oh, no, maybe I'll just put that to rest now, I think. It's a shame because I fucking love it. Yeah, on the PS4. Or you talk about Battlefield 3? Yeah, I've still got that on the 360 as well, yeah.
No. Battlefield 4. I mean, I know a lot of people who've just, they've also done what you've done. They've basically bailed on the fucking thing now because it's more hassle than it's worth.
Such a shame. I hope they learn from their lesson, but I've got a feeling Battlefield 5's announcement is just round the corner.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating, especially when you're as much of a fan of it as you are.
Well, that's the problem. Is that I want to be furious about this, and I want to slam my fist down, but they'd be like, "Oh yeah, how many hours have you got out of that game you hate so much?" I'm like, 5,000.
Yeah, but how many hours could you have got out of that game if you weren't booted out to the dashboard?
Yeah, good point.
Right, okay, so am I on number 6 now, am I?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Forza 5 for the Xbox One. Yeah, I got an Xbox One in the end. That's an interesting machine, isn't it?
You can say that again. Yeah.
I've never seen a machine just say no to you so many times. Like, I want to play this game. Nah, it's dashboard. What do you mean dashboard? I want to play the game. Nah, forget it. And like Xbox on. Nah, forget that. It's insane how it's as if the console's got mood swings, and then it just sort of decides that it doesn't want to be your mate for a bit, and it's I'm not listening to you anymore. Oh, for fuck's sake! The other one is Xbox Record That is another phrase that would be amazing if it worked. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and sometimes it records without sound and stuff. It's so frustrating. but yeah, going back to Forza, I really, really like it. I think it looks absolutely incredible. I like the fact that it's not as deep as some of the other ones, because I think, when a series just runs away from you and you're like, well, I'm too far behind now. Like Championship Manager, if I sit down in front of that, it's like, well, do you want to clean this guy's boots or not clean his boots? And I'm like, why are you going into that much detail? Let's keep it simple. Well,
Yeah.
Forza feels a little bit more scaled back, and I like it for that. I like the fact that there's fewer tracks, which sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, but I think racing games, like serious racing games, should be about learning tracks and not, oh my God, here's so many tracks that I'm never actually going to get into one of them properly. Like, I've tried to play serious racing games recently, even going back to Forza 3, there was just too many tracks in it, and I'm like, I can't concentrate on one track, because as I'm going through a career mode, I'm getting a new track to play on, like every step of the way. So my favourite serious racing game of all time is MotoGP. Do you remember the original one for the original Xbox that launched with Xbox Live?
Oh, it was, the first proper Xbox Live game, yeah.
Yeah. It was on the disc. You had, I think it was 2 tracks. One of them was Mugello, and I would play that over and over and over again, to the point where I knew what gear I needed to be in as I was approaching it, how my speed going around corners, what I can and cannot do, where I should be braking, and everything. I feel like I'm getting that with Forza 5 than and I haven't had that for a long time with a serious racing game. Like that Prague track is incredible looking, and I pretty much know every corner of that now, and I'm really starting to build up on my times and stuff. And yeah, maybe it's the game to get me back into racing, prepare me for Drive Club, which also looks amazing, coming out soon. So yeah, I'm really impressed. I don't need Jeremy Clarkson telling me what a car is, though.
Me neither.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be that passionate about cars if he'd ever driven my 1.4 Polo. I've got a feeling he might be a little bit more disparaging about motor vehicles. But yeah, what is that about? They're unskippable as well.
I know. Yeah, that's quite. I mean, I hate that stuff. That's one of the only things that's wrong with that game. But I'm with you on the whole content thing, because I played Gran Turismo, which is just like thousands of cars, an untold amount of content, and that's great if you're a real. I mean, that's the kind of game that people buy PlayStation 3s just to play.
Yeah.
And they won't play anything else. But I like the fact that Forza, you can sort of get to learn. Yeah, like you said, learn tracks, know what cars you like, rather than having to experiment all the time.
I like scaled down stuff, which sounds stupid because you're paying so much money for these things, so you'd expect that the more content the better, but I don't think that's always the case. When you streamline it a little bit more, you can get into it. But yeah, no, as you say, though, I mean, it's totally true. When you play Call of Duty, and it's like, do you want to see really graphic shit, yes or no? It should be like, just come up, do you want to hear Jeremy Clarkson's fucking voice? No, I don't. That's it, he's cut from the game. That would be brilliant.
Yeah. But MotoGP, 2 tracks?
There was 2 basically, the Xbox Live starter disc come with 3 games on it: Mechasort, MotoGP, and Whacked. We tried to play Whacked more recently than you might think, and unfortunately we weren't able to get a game. But right, so what happened was the game would come out, and MotoGP was a full retail game. But the demo on the disc, but it didn't have Xbox Live capabilities. The demo on the disc was the unlock for Xbox Live. That's how it worked. That's how fucked up online play was back then. So you had 2 tracks on that, unless you had a save file for the full retail game on your Xbox. So what I would do, what I did, and what everyone did eventually, I just went to Game Station, bought MotoGP, put it in. It created a save file, took it out, took it back, and say, I just bought this, but I don't want it. They'd give you your money back, and then you'd unlock the full game using just the Xbox Live starter disc. And that's how you unlocked all the tracks, but not a lot of people did that, so it was just basically just Mugello over and over and over again.
Oh, okay.
What a video! Oh, mate, that game was so good. And yeah, and to play 16-player races on Xbox Live back then was just, it blew my mind. It was amazing.
Was everyone talking to each other?
It was proximity based, so you could talk to the person in front of you and behind you. So it was quite funny because you could have like these big slanging matches and then not hear them for the rest of the race. Yeah, and then when you're in the lobby, everyone could talk. But yeah, it was so good. And those were the days. I used to take my tiny little CRT TV down into the conservatory, because that's where the little modem was, and plug it in with my Xbox and just sit up all night downstairs in the fucking freezing cold. It's brilliant.
I'll take your word for it. Okay, my number 6 is a game called No Heroes Allowed: no puzzles either, on the PlayStation Vita. Have you heard of this?
No, it's amazing.
A listener recommended it. It's a free game, and there's sort of add-on packs you can buy for it. I was really not sure what to expect, and it's actually a match 3 block puzzler. But the blocks are tiered into levels. So if you have 3 level 1 blocks, they'll create 1 level 2 block, and then you make another level 2, then level 3, blah, blah, blah. And those numbers also denote these animals that are created. This is, I'm going to try and explain this as best I can. First of all, the music is unbelievably poor. In record time, the second time I'd ever heard it in my life, the first time it looped, and I was just like, no chance. I'm not listening to that again. I turned it down. It's the most irritating music I think I've probably ever heard in my life. I'm genuinely being serious. It's a block puzzler, but there's all this dialogue about this vampires, and there's this very, very long-winded tutorial, and I was just like, oh, for God's sake. Right, I mean, you're trying to... Basically, there's a meter on the right-hand side of the screen, and if that runs out, your vampire friend on the left-hand side is dead. And apparently you don't want that to happen, so you have to summon these monsters by playing the block puzzler, to summon dragons and other enemies and stuff. And also, as the vampire is attacked, you're given a finite number of block taps, so if you basically take too long playing the block game, the blocks turn into metal and they can't be moved unless you match 3 next to one of the metal things. And then there were power-ups in addition to that, including a rewind system called a flux incapacitator or something. And first off, the whole thing is actually a little bit simpler than I'm making it sound, but it's terribly overwrought because you don't need any of that story. I mean, you don't need this vampire friend talking to you, because you only need to have a timer saying, play the block puzzle game until this timer runs out. You don't need to know that there's some... I mean, I guess it's for kids, but... I don't know, it's just long-winded and really unnecessary. I can imagine kids getting really bored doing the tutorial. And then, after you've done the tutorial, you start to understand that this is absolutely a quintessential free-to-play game. So it says, hey, you're limited by how often you can play the game, so you wait or you pay. It keeps using the phrase cold hard cash. Saying, hey, if you want to play some more cold hard cash, look what we're doing. And then they introduce a mining system where you unlock characters who dig up loot for you, and then you can level up your monsters with a crafting system. And I was like, what? This is a really simple block puzzler that's embellished to the point of absolute absurdity. Partially, I think, in pursuit of money, and partially, I don't know why. I mean, it alienated me really early on, and it never stopped doing it, because I was just like, all of these systems. It's a block puzzler. What is this game? It's just a load of other ways they can sort of try and get money out of you. It was confused the hell out of me. And I put it down, and I didn't like the repeatedly going, hey, one character say, oh God, but I want to play it now. Well, give us some cold hard cash. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I mean, John spoke, I don't know, he might have even been talking about this game, I can't remember, but games that are brazen about trying to fleece you for money, also being brazen in how the sort of dialogue's written around it. I've got no tolerance for it, really.
Don't joke about my money.
Yeah, please.
never try and be funny about my money. It's my money. Yeah. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Get none of it. How do you play it then? Is it using the touchscreen?
Yeah, it's on the touchscreen. It's like a block puzzle. This is really simple.
Yeah, but how does that hold up? Like, because with the DS it was good because you had the stylus there, and with the iPhone the touch stuff's really good. But what's the touch stuff like on the Vita? Is it just as good as the iPhone?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I'd say so. I mean, the game's like rendered in a sort of 16-bit style, so everything's really big and chunky. But the Future Lab puzzle game, oh God, I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it. I spoke about it a couple of times. Fuck, I can't believe I've forgotten it. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember the title of it. A really excellent block puzzler, but it's entirely touchscreen based, and it works like working like an absolute charm. I couldn't imagine it working any better on an iOS device. So yeah, the touchscreen stuff's great, but this game is just a headache I don't need. Surge Deluxe, that was it. Surge Deluxe.
Right, shall I move on to my number 5 then?
Please.
My number 5 is South Park's The Stick of Truth, which I played through to completion, and a very good game it is too. Is it as good a game as I was hoping? Not really. I'm not a massive fan of combat like that, but you know, this does about as good as it can for someone like me. I didn't feel as though there was much to really go and see and do. The main quest line was really good, but you know, some of the other the side quest stuff did not grab me at all. It was all go to this location, go to this location. That it just wasn't fun. I could either walk for ages, which took far too long with those loading screens, or I could just, you know, get Timmy to take me to the place, and I had no satisfaction from travelling around South Park. And yeah, that as a game, I thought it was okay, it was passable, but nothing really more than that. As a comedy, a piece of comedy, it was out of this world funny, absolutely hilariously brilliant. I laughed more at this game than I have any other game, full stop. It made me laugh out loud constantly. It was offensive more so than I thought it would be in a few places. Joe has commented on 2 games, being offended by 2 games. One of them was Lollipop Chainsaw, and the other one was this, to the point where she asked me to turn it off. And she's not easily offended. She watches South Park. She likes South Park. But there was one area of that game where she got for really sort of, I don't want to watch this anymore. You know the bit I'm talking about, I assume?
It could be one of 2 bits. Which one?
The bit in the bit where you're fighting the giant something in the something clinic.
Okay, yeah.
she said no, that's enough now. But I thought it was hilarious. I'm not easily offended, so I was happy with it, and I loved the idea behind it as well. I love being the new kid and trying to talk to Cartman and trying to talk to Carl and Stan, and Butters is amazing, and he was brilliant throughout. I thought Randy was weird. Randy's usually a better character in the TV show. I thought he was kind of used in a weird way in this game, like not to the point where he should have been. He's one of my favourite characters. I thought he was a bit shit in this, and there were a few. Like, I'm not used to playing RPGs. Oh, did you find this as well? Because I talked to you about this. You know the tutorial stuff with the farts, where you learn new special farts. Did you find them really difficult to do?
Yeah, I mean,
did you have to keep doing them over and over again?
Yeah, and then
missed it.
When you screw up, they make you watch the tutorial about how to do it, and it doesn't really explain how to use the thumbstick, so you fuck up again, and then they make you watch the tutorial again. Yeah, I got stuck in that loop many times. Yeah,
that happened to me loads. And then when you're doing it in the game, you're not even doing the stuff it taught you to do in the fucking tutorials.
Yeah.
Like in the last one you learn, where you can position the fart somewhere in the screen and then release it. When you're actually doing that in the game, you press A, but at no point during the tutorial do you press A. It's so confusing. That stuff seemed really weird, and it was like, maybe they needed to put a little bit more polish on it or something, but it had already been delayed about 50 million times, so they kind of didn't do that. But yeah, as a work from Bethesda, I think it was disappointing. Work from Trey and Matt, I think it was superb, and I can't really fault it apart from the whole, Randy scenario.
Well, from who? Bethesda?
It's Bethesda that did it, wasn't it?
Oblivion.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Sorry. I'm getting this out. I'm a big RPG fan, as Joypod listeners know. Fuck. Yeah, Oblivion fucked up.
I loved the game. I mean, I really appreciated the fact that there was no padding in it. I mean, the side quest is just a part and parcel. I avoid side quests most of the time anyway. But I liked the fact that it was however long it was, 9 hours, and that was absolutely as long as it needed.
Yeah, it didn't need to be any longer, and it was funny.
Yeah.
That stuff in Canada was really clever, and And yeah, it felt like you were constantly moving forward, and that stuff was cool. Oh, and the only other thing I will say, that final boss fight I thought it was funny and had some really good moments in it, but it fucking irritated the shit out of me because it was really long. And then by the end of it, I didn't have one item that I needed to complete it. So I got right to the end, didn't have the item, so failed the last bit, and then had to do the whole thing over again. The whole thing from start to finish. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, so that irritated me because there's no indication that I needed that certain item. Yeah.
Don't they save it right before you go to the final battle and there's a shop there?
Yeah, which is fine. So I picked up the item, but I just spent 15 to 20 minutes doing this one fight, and then at the end of it, realised that I couldn't do it, so then went back to that point again and thought, right, okay, now I need to buy this from the shop, and then went and did it again from the start. But yeah, worth completing though, because the end is well funny, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. I might play through that game again at some point as well. I think it was good enough.
I don't know. I'll play through it for the jokes again, but not so much the actual combat and the walking around and stuff like that. And the loading screens, man, fucking hell.
Yeah, they were a bit severe, actually, yeah.
South Park.
Okay, all right, well, my number 5 is a game called Super Crazy Guitar Maniac Deluxe 4. It's a Flash game, and I'd saved a screenshot on my phone from probably about 2 years ago of somebody on Twitter saying, hey, the return of Guitar Hero. This is actually a legitimate sequel to Guitar Hero or some other such absolute nonsense. And yes, so I kept the URL in my phone, and I thought it's time to check it out. And it's a Flash game, and it looks terrible, and it sounds terrible. Actually, the sound is the music is tinny mono. It's not even in stereo, and it's littered with mildly irritating sound bites from someone who I assume is the guy who created it. So if you miss a couple of notes, he'll go lame, and it's annoying. It's Guitar Hero, but you use the arrow keys on your keyboard and the number keys on your keyboard, and the music is by amateur bands, and some of it's like rights-free music, but it's of a surprisingly decent quality, and very Guitar Hero-esque. And as you succeed, sort of your success is denoted by the status of this stick man at the bottom of the screen. He's standing at first, and then if you start nailing notes and getting combos and stuff, he starts running, and then he's surfing and stuff. And your score goes up in real time against a meter, which shows when you'll get to certain star ratings, which I thought was quite cool. It's basically excellent. The note charting is just right. The music's decent. There's achievements and stuff if you could really be bothered with all that stuff. And it's even like genuinely challenging and quite clever on the hard. I think it's just normal and hard difficulty. But and there's even boss modes that sort of crop up where you're fighting like pizza delivery man. It's the sort of boss modes in the same sort of style as the ones from Guitar Hero 3 without the weapons, but yeah, it's really, really good. As far as a fan of rhythm action games, for it to work as well as it does on a browser, I played it for way too long. It's the kind of thing that's sort of I'm sure I'm not the only person who's I should have been working when I was playing this. So I highly recommend it. It's incredibly simple, and it looks stickmen and all, but it's really good. Super Crazy Guitar Maniac Deluxe 4. I don't know if it's the fourth one. I assume that's just a joke, but it's on a website called jisgames.com. Check it out. I really, really liked it.
Well, what has happened to the rhythm action game? Is that what it's what it's come to now? Is it the fucking Flash games?
Well, this is years old, but you'd be surprised at how good it is. But Harmonix have said that they're looking at bringing back Rock Band for this generation.
I know you said that you're a big fan of rhythm action games, but have you played Uendan? I don't know if I've asked you this before. You have, yeah. Thank God.
I imported it years ago. Yeah.
So I did I ever tell you how I ended up with that game?
No.
It turned up on my doorstep out of nowhere, and I opened up the package, and it was a DS game with like Japanese text across it, and I was thinking, what the fuck is this? And I put it in, and I didn't understand anything, and I looked it up, and I began playing it and thinking, this is amazing. Who sent me this? How did I end up with this? This was before Joypod, I think. I remember thinking, this is absolutely incredible. And then it turns out that, because I was playing on Xbox Live that night, and I spoke to one of my friends, I said, oh yeah, I told you about that game the other night. You come home from the pub, smashed. And I said, you'd really like it, so you must have ordered it that night and forgotten all about it. Yeah, what a game that is.
Yeah, really.
Oh, man, rhythm action games, they need to come back again.
I agree. Although the best one ever made is on your 360, Rock Band Blitz.
Overrated by Chet. Number 4 for me is Freeze, the iOS puzzle game. Have you played this yet? I know John was talking about it.
Oh yeah, Threes. Yeah, I've got it on the iPad. Really good.
Right. It's my favourite iOS game for a long, long time. I adore it, and I am totally 120% addicted to this game. I cannot stop playing it. A good indication of me, this is going to expose myself as a right weirdo, so I apologise, but a good indication of me enjoying an iOS game is that in my head, when I'm playing it, I pretend I'm on a game show and I'm earning lots of money. And I don't ask why. It happened with Peggle. It happened with Pyroblocks. It happened with a bunch of other games. I pretend in my head that I'm... Oh, what was the Impossible Road? The Impossible Road one, right? I was on a game show where for every point I get over 20, I earn £1,000. That's what goes on in my fucking head all the time. And on this one, if I get over 3,000, I earn then the points turn into pounds, and that's how much I'm earning. But like, I can't stop playing it. I literally can't stop playing it. You can play it with one hand. That helps when you're feeding a baby.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. It's one of the most charming games I've played for years. I love when the characters are talking. I love the music in the background. I love that sound effect of the board sliding over when you get a new character. I love that character. I think it's 139, is it? That goes, hello, ladies and gentlemen, when he appears on the screen. I love it. Everything about this game is just brilliant. No trying to charge you, no adverts, all that sort of stuff. It's just one of the best games I've played on the iOS for a long, long time. So yeah, and I wouldn't have played with it unless it was for. I wouldn't have played it if it weren't for this show. So thank you to you both.
Although John will disagree with you because he hates all the aesthetics, all the sound effects, all of the music. He fucking hates all of that stuff.
How can you hate that stuff? Why is he? Why is he so angry? He's such an angry man. Like, he's off of the show. He sounds like really nice on the show and that, but I've spoken to him off the show. He's an arsehole, that man. Real angry, hates everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. He is a thoroughly poisonous human being. But I agree with him. I didn't really like the. I mean, it's fine. I didn't dislike it as much as he did. But
I can't get the music out of my head. I love the music. I love the fact that the little characters, like, if you don't touch them for a while, they say they're bored and stuff. I love all that stuff. What is wrong with him? Fucking hell.
What's your highest score on it? Do you know?
Do you want me to check? Is that a no?
No, go on, because I can only get the same score over and over and over again. I can't remember what it was, and my iPad's upstairs. It's not a lot. I can't seem to get past this one score.
What's the highest tile that you've? Is it the 130 odd one? My top score is 7,875. There you go.
Okay, that's a lot more than me. I think mine's like 2,000 something. I can't remember.
I think I'm convinced I can do better than that. But yeah, really, really, really good game. Well worth the asking price. And yeah, if you haven't played it, you should absolutely check it out.
Yeah, you should. No, I agree with that. I need to play more of it, really. Okay, all right. My number 4 is a game called Warface on the Xbox 360. I spoke about it a few weeks ago when it was in closed beta. It's now free. It's a free-to-play first-person shooter by Crytek, and it's got achievements and stuff on it. So if you like those things, then you should probably just have a look at it. Yeah, I spoke about it a few weeks ago. I was initially dismissive of it during the beta stage. I think I was just fatigued by shooters at that point, which most people are permanently, but for some reason I was just really not really interested. But I booted it up just after launch weekend, and it said, there was a message from Crytek saying we're working round the clock on ensuring that new features are added, that everything works. We're working round the clock. And it was, hard to be cynical when you know that Crytek are busting their asses to try and get this game working. But anyway, I started the game. I downloaded a game update within the client, so there's no progress bar. I just downloaded it and sat there waiting for ages. And then a message said, we're working nights and weekends to resolve the problems you've been having. I was like, all right, around the clock, nights and weekends, I get the point, you're busting your asses, knock it off. And then there was a deliberately misleading opt-in email tick box, one of the most misleading sentences I've ever read, which totally didn't explain whether you were going to be opting in or opting out. So cavalier, completely not enticing. So these are things that rub me up the wrong way. Anyway, I played it for a couple of hours. The game is exactly what I said it was previously. It's Call of Duty mixed with Battlefield, some of the strategy of Battlefield. So I've got to just refer people, if anyone's interested, to me talking about the beta, which is on YouTube. It's got the fast-paced nature of Call of Duty with the classes and some of the strategy of Battlefield. I haven't played it with friends yet because in addition to having a competitive multiplayer element, which is just pretty standard, there's this co-op mode where you just run around shooting bots. You get from A to B. You plant a bomb here. It's completely vanilla and unexciting, but it's well made and it's slick. But as slick as you can get for free. I mean, it's not a pretty game, but it works at least. I haven't played it with friends because basically the main system in the game when you're playing co-op is the resurrection coins. So every time you die, you have the opportunity to jump back into the game with your friends if you pay for a resurrection coin. And I don't know how harsh it's going to be. It seemed very harsh in the beta. But I don't know at this point because at the end of the day, I've played with randoms, and you need to use all 4 classes, otherwise you get creamed. And the thing that everyone keeps doing is everyone's a medic because then you don't need to worry about resurrection coins because you can just keep getting each other up. But then you run out of bullets, and then you're fucked. You haven't got a sniper at the back taking everyone out. So you need to play in coordination with each other, 4 people, and then you'll probably get away with playing it for a little while without paying anything. But I don't know, it's fine. I'm lucky. I'm in a situation where I've got Titanfall in my living room, so I don't need this.
Why is this out? I don't like. I know it sounds bad, but what are people playing it? Or I don't.
Yeah, the people playing it. I assume it's a. It is a weird one. It's kind of like a console version of those first-person shooters you get on iOS. I don't really understand why people are playing it, but then people are playing it because it's free, and maybe that payment structure appears to just be more inviting to some people. They want to pay in increments rather than pay up front for a game, which is the opposite of me. So, but it's well made enough and slick enough. So if you're looking for a free-to-play game, have a look. I mean, it's got achievements in it, so that's the kind of thing that might entice people to at least download it and have a look. But yeah, I don't need it, so I won't play it again.
Proper out the loop now, aren't we? I think we are really gonna show our age with this free-to-play stuff. You know what I mean? Get really angry about it, despite the fact that we kept pumping in like 50p's into the arcades when we were kids and that just to play like a few levels of Virtual Fighter. Like,
so weird.
Free to play is I can't stand it. It makes me angry. But yeah, what these kids are doing these days, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Right, my number 3 then is a little game that you might have heard of called Dark Souls. The first one. I wanted to talk about this game really because I was wrong about it. I've been wrong about a bunch of games before. I thought I'd never play Mass Effect, and then it become one of my favourite series. And I was completely wrong about Dark Souls. I appeared on a podcast, a Recycle Bin, not too long ago, saying how I got to the Bell Gargoyles and hated it and put it down, and I will never go back to it. Well, I went back to it and smashed the Gargoyles, smashed through a bunch of other bosses, and absolutely adored it. Fell in love with it. I think the biggest fault with Dark Souls are the people that fucking play it. Like I get really pissed off when I hear people talk about it because they say the same things and they mean nothing. That it's so hard. But if you to explain why it was hard, maybe people will get a better idea of why people like it so much. The way this game is hard is not like it's just really difficult to do. It's that the enemies are powerful and they're very stupid, right? The AI behind them is very stupid, very mechanical. If you lower your shield, the knight will attack you in a certain way. If you keep 2 paces away from them, the knight will act in a certain way. Now, when you first meet that knight, they'll be able to smack the shit out of you because they're very powerful enemies and you don't know what you're doing. But the more you come against that knight, the more you realise you can manipulate the AI to do what you want it to do, and you can manipulate that to your advantage. So, for example, I'm fighting these guys at the moment who, when I first played them, were kicking 9 shades of shit out of me, and I thought I'm never going to be able to take them out. Then I realised that if I drop my shield and move back 2 spaces, he will try and push me with my shield and then do a very obvious swipe with his sword, which I could parry and kill him in 1 hit. and then all of a sudden, these big, nasty enemies that you thought you were never going to get your head around are piss easy to kill, and you run around killing these people without any thought about it. And now, obviously, there is that aspect of it, well, if you get too cocky, they've still got that power there that's going to wipe you out. So you've still got to be on your toes, but it's all about learning enemy AI and either manipulating it to your advantage or countering it. And that's the appeal of Dark Souls. It wasn't hard. It's not, hey, it's really hard and that's why I love it. No, the reason why you love it is that it seems hard at first, but then when you work out how to get over an obstacle, you're sort of teaching yourself more about the enemies you're fighting, and all of a sudden this really hard game suddenly seems not so hard. So although you're retreading ground over and over again, you're constantly progressing. So now when I retread really old ground, I'm pissing through it because I know the place like the back of my hand. There's also some amazing stuff that it does online, but you've probably heard all that. And I've hit another brick wall at the moment, one where I feel that I'm never going to get over, but I know that eventually I'll go back to it, and I will, and I'll really start enjoying it again. But I know you've got a bit of a beef with it, haven't you? You can't get started with it, can you?
Oh no! I mean, I played it, when it came out, and really, really loved it. And I just felt it came out in, I think it came out in like September, October, and there was just a barrage of other stuff came out. So
how far did you get? Can you remember?
Not really.
It's true. The game really doesn't get good until you're way into it. Really far into it. I think I've put like 35 hours into it now, and I didn't really start appreciating the game until I was about 20 hours into it. No game has made me more fearful without being a horror game. Like you're constantly hiding behind your shield when you're walking into a new place. But then no game has given you that sense of accomplishment when you realise, fuck, I can boss this area that I was shit scared of just a few hours ago. And that's where the satisfaction of the game comes from. The lore stuff is interesting, but not enough for me to really look into. I've sort of been following it online as I've been playing it, and there is a lot wrong with it. People say that it's always fair. It's not. I've been hit through walls before. Like, it's not acceptable. That's not good. The frame rate is shit. The stuff that it says that you like, the whole stuff about, hey, yeah, it doesn't tell you everything. You need to work it out all yourself. I don't need my games to be big puzzles. I don't need basic mechanics of a video game to be a fucking puzzle or a Wikipedia link, I don't need that. Just tell me the stuff. And I think personally my game of the year this year is going to be Dark Souls 2. Not because I'm going to play it, because I've got no intention of playing it this year. It's my game of the year because watching all the Dark Souls fans backtrack on what they said about the first one. Do you know what I mean? If you'd have gone back to the first, a few years before this come out and gone to a Dark Souls fan, yeah, you know what? After you kill an enemy 12 times, they should die completely, and they would go mental and go, no, that's not what Dark Souls is all about. But now it's in Dark Souls 2, they're like, yeah, no, actually that's brilliant. What a great idea. You're like, well, I can hear you beeping from here as you're reversing. But no, I mean, I take the piss. I can see why people are so passionate about it now. And I've really, really, really got into it. And I wouldn't have been able to get into it without, the people talking about it on Twitter and stuff. People I was previously pissed off with talking about it on Twitter. But yeah, it's special. And I think it is a 10 out of 10 game, and I think it has shaken up the industry a little bit. And I've gone from really hating it and being all, hey, fuck Dark Souls, to saying it's a 10 out of 10 game. So you can't really say better than that, can you?
Exactly. The fans of the game are a bit more articulate about the appeal of of what actually makes the game harder.
Maybe it's Twitter. I mean, maybe it's like it's not easy to get across on Twitter. But when I see someone new starting it, they everyone. I suppose everyone wants to jump around them and go, yes, come on, like this game, and be part of this big social thing that we've got going on here. But in the same time, you've only got these small little tweets to explain to people where they're going wrong and or what they should and shouldn't be doing, and I suppose it comes across wrong. I don't know, but I don't know. It's just I think there's a very interesting formula there that gets missed when people talk about Dark Souls. They'll just say it's hard, and you're just like, come on. There's more to it than that. It's not just a hard game. In fact, it's not actually massively hard once you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the appeal of Dark Souls. It's fucking brilliant. I hope the second one comes out for next gen, because I can't see myself sitting in front of my 360 struggling through a game and its frame rate again when it really should be out on more powerful consoles.
Yeah, have they not announced that yet?
No, they haven't. No, it's current gen only, or last gen, whatever you want to class it as. But yeah, it's only 360 and PS3, and I think there's is there a PC one already?
Yeah, there is.
There is, yeah. But yeah, I'm glad the game exists, and I'm glad that it's had the impact that I think it deserves. And I'm angry with myself that I didn't get into it earlier, to be honest. But it's just, everything about it is so not what I like about games. But for some reason, it got its claws into me, and I'm in for the long run now.
Well, yeah, I mean, my opportunities to catch up with that game I've missed too many of them. But if they bring Dark Souls 2 I mean, I'm sure they will. They've got to bring it to Xbox One, or I mean PS4 at least. They said from day one they weren't going to, but I'm sure they must. If they do that, I'm definitely going to jump on board with the second one.
I'm hoping they do like both of them as a sort of combination thing, or get Dark Souls 2 and get like a next gen version of Dark Souls 1 as well, for free, or I don't know, something like that. Just to, I don't see why not. I don't see what the problem would be putting it on the new consoles. Surely it would be a good thing to do. But yeah, I would definitely play it.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping they do that, because that'd be my excuse to jump on board fully.
Yes.
Okay, my number 3 is a game called Deadlight on the Xbox 360. It was one of the free games with gold on the Xbox 360. Have you downloaded any of those?
Nope.
No.
Not once.
Yeah, it was one of the games with gold, and it's finished now. So if you wanted to download it, you've missed your opportunity. And I have to say, lucky you. It came out in 2012, and it focuses on the survivors of a zombie apocalypse. So I have no doubt that it was hackneyed and tedious back then, but I found it very hard to maintain interest in the story. It's very badly written. And when it becomes apparent that you're supposed to collect diary pages from the main characters, I did smile, because I just thought, no way, I'm not interested in the slightest. The game is still very, very good looking. All the characters and zombies are kind of cast in silhouette. It's a 2D side-on sort of platformer, basically. And the world is murky in a strangely appealing way. It's kind of twinged by Twilight. And it's the most traditional type of environment in gaming, full stop, a zombie apocalypse wasteland. And yet it's still quite appealing. It's set in the 80s, just to give it some kind of point of difference. But there are basically the opening is excellent. It's a side-on platform. You're racing through this environment. It's quite atmospheric, I suppose. But basically, it gives way to this horrifying trial and error. The whole game is basically trial and error. There are so many instances where you have no idea what to do, or you run into a room and you die, and then you run into a room and you die. You're punished for not having played the game before. Even before all of that horrible trial and error shit happens, there are so many instances where you get stuck, and it's only because a ledge is slightly obscured, or a button's out of the way, or sort of masked by something. It's tedious, and then it gets more and more and more tedious. And they introduce a character who lives in the sewers and he's set up a load of traps just because. So die and die and die, and sometimes floors just give way underneath you. You have to go back, and it's a 10-second rewind to go. I mean, it's a really, really poorly made game. You fail instantly all the time, and it's just elementary and not challenging and just infuriating and rubbish. I'm surprised that it's got as many good reviews as it has. I was absolutely flabbergasted by how terrible it was. Because imagine
But you played it for quite a long time, didn't you?
I finished it, yeah.
Why did you do that? Why do you do this to yourself?
I don't know. I felt somehow. I felt like something was going to change because for the first 40 minutes, it's actually genuinely excellent. It looks nice. It plays well, and then it just every single thing is bang. You're dead. Why did you die? Go and figure it out. Why didn't you play this game? It's really, really aggravating and very poorly made and kind of cheap. And also, there's things like there's no inventory. Which is nice because it's kind of sort of stripped back a little bit. But, you come across first aid kits and they're like, well, luckily I don't need this now. It's like, yeah, but you will in a minute. I mean, at least let me pick up first aid kits. And then there's puzzles, but the puzzles are like you'll find a trapdoor and it's got a combination on it. And then you walk into the next room. It's like, here's a combination you might need at some point. It's just... And the combat is hellishly poor. It's a button masher, but the game is about managing stamina, so you can swing your axe a few times. Sometimes you swing at zombies, two zombies standing together, and you only hit one of them, the other one will grab you and eat you. And because you're only in silhouette, you can't make out when you're amongst a group of undead. I think it's been done deliberately because you're supposed to avoid combat, but it's just, there are so many terrible moments in this game. I was just like, this is a 1 out of 10, and I don't know how it got past the playtest stage. It's very, but there's so much wrong with it. It's not entertaining in the slightest. I don't know how they. I mean, the first 40 minutes has got this great momentum, and you forgive the shit story and everything, and it's just, I don't know. I just thought it was unbelievably poor, and I hated it for many other reasons, and I hated it for another reason as well. And I don't know why I feel compelled to tell this story, but I'm probably going to do it anyway. Throughout the game, in addition to other collectibles, there are identity cards that you find just randomly, and the first one you find is it's the name that most people would recognise to be that of a serial killer, Ted Bundy or something like that. And I thought, okay, that's a little bit weird. I found another one, and that had a name on that I vaguely recognised, and I put it into Google just out of interest, and it was the accomplice of Henry Lee Lucas, the serial killer. And the reason I recognised the name was because he was from. I'd seen the film Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Excuse me. So yeah, I put his name into Google and I saw information about the serial killer. And the next thing down was a video interview with the serial killer. What was his name? Otis something or other. And it's not the kind of thing I'd normally look at, but I couldn't resist just tapping the YouTube link and looking at the video, and it was incredibly grim and unpleasant. And was
he playing the game? Was that the whole link? And you're like, this has blown my mind. This is actually genius.
No, he was. It was a very, very, very grim interview, and he was heavily, he's a very low IQ, and he was talking about how it was really unpleasant. Not the kind of thing I normally watch. But as I was watching it, this is all my own fault, by the way. I blame the game, but this is all my own fucking fault. Next to this video on the right-hand side, there was a video called The 50 Greatest Serial Killer Moments. And I was like, that's got to be a joke. That's like an Onion pastiche or a parody or something. That's a joke.
That's a Channel 4 show, isn't it, I think?
No, it's something that somebody had assembled. The 50 Greatest Serial Killer Moments. I thought it was a joke. Anyway, I made the terrible mistake of clicking on that video.
Mate, you can't say anything. You can't say anything. You're doing this to yourself. You can't go, oh, it's disgraceful that's that. So I clicked and watched it. What's the matter with you?
But I clicked on it because I thought it was a spoof. I thought there's no way that there's a video on the internet called the 50 Greatest Serial Killer Moments. Anyway, I'll go back to the game in a sec. I made the mistake of watching it. Just whatever you do not watch that video, because it starts out very innocuously and it's footage of serial killers being interviewed or them being arrested or them in court, and then it gives way to camcorder footage that some serial killers have made of women bound and tied up, pleading for their lives, and they're taunting them, and it's absolutely at the apex of a list of things I never wanted to see in my life.
Why are you telling us this?
Okay, I tried to look.
Is the whole punchline that it was more enjoyable than the game?
No, there's no punchline. I mean, I'm just amazed that there is actually I don't know why that footage exists. I don't know why it was not destroyed. I don't know why it's out there on the internet for some fucking weirdo to go and make a 50 greatest serial killer. I don't know why that's in the public domain. I don't understand it. The reason I tried to look up the reasoning for the developers have had for putting these serial killers, because every single ID card is the name of a serial killer.
Yeah.
And I looked up to try and figure out what their reasoning was for it. I found 2 articles about this. There's some games blog and CNN, the only people to have ran it as a story. The first one, they've insinuated to CNN. They've insinuated that it's actually there's an alternate ending where the main character, because at the end his child and the wife are dead. In the alternate ending, if you find all of those ID cards, it turns out that he'd actually killed his wife and child, and the ID cards are supposed to like make you think, oh, it's supposed to insinuate that he's the killer somehow. And I don't understand. That's not a narrative device. That's nothing. That doesn't. One thing does not suggest the other. That's not. There's no reasoning behind it. That's not legitimate. That's flippant and fucking bullshit. The other website I found, I presume, because if that is the real reason, there's this alternate ending and stuff. As bullshit as that is, I suppose they wanted to hide it from whoever ran this gaming blog. So they said, the reason we put those identity cards in there is because we, it's kind of funny that in a zombie apocalypse, you think that serial killers would be the most well equipped to deal with it. And again, I don't know. I don't understand this. There's no. It's just, it's flippant and childish and led to things. I'm an idiot. It's my own fault. But being flippant by putting the real names of serial killers in a really, really tossed off video game that's, I don't care what you say, is aimed at children. I'm just, it made me fucking furious. It made me really fucking angry.
But why would that? I mean, there's weird shit like this in video games all the time. So what made this? What touched a nerve with you with this one? It's just the fact that it is based on real life, but it is referencing real life serial killers.
It's the complete and utter flippancy of it. It bears no relation to anything in the story. There's no reason for it to be there whatsoever. I mean, the problem with serial killers is that we have them at fucking arm's length the whole time because they're so popular in fiction that we just have them at arm's length. So why bring real serial killers into a really, really, like I said, it's a fucking tossed off nothing idiotic, it's another day and a bad day and that's the undead, man. It's just crap. Deadlight is shit. And this kind of just this childish, like, oh, yeah, I mean, like we're being edgy or something. I don't know. It's completely fucking unacceptable. They can't justify it, and they haven't been able to justify it, and nobody really cares apart from me. But then it's my own fault because I fucking fall into the trap of finding the beginnings of snuff movies on the internet. So yeah, I'm an idiot.
I think that. I mean, the whole serial killer thing. Thousands and thousands of books about real life serial killers are sold every day because people, it's that sort of stuff just rolls off my back. People are weird. People like reading that stuff, and I've always tried to keep away from all that sort of shit, especially those video nasties you get on the internet or whatever. So I don't know if it'd affect me so much, but it's weird, isn't it? How can you justify something like that? But in the same vein, some of the shit that I've done in a video game, I don't know. I'm really confused when it comes to violence. I don't know how much of it I find acceptable and how my fucking morals are just all over the place with that. Yeah, but
I mean, I think that's the case with everybody. What I don't understand is why this really, really fucking goofy comic book style game that is aimed at children, I don't care what the fuck they say about it, it's a children's game, would have references to real life serial killers. You keep finding these names, and they don't tell you who they are. They're just like, oh, this name says so and so, and you're like, people are going to go and look up. I don't know. It just seems irresponsible and stupid and fucking juvenile. And I'm just that honestly, it's something that someone thought they would probably make them seem like the game was edgy, or it fucking made me furious. But it ruined my. I mean, don't even think about going to watch that video because I'll tell you, it's ruined my week still. I had to sit and watch the fucking new Kasabian video on a loop to try and calm myself down. So I've made the mistake of watching it at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was just—it's the one of the way I don't want to think about that ever again. But the reason I got into that situation in the first place is by a really fucking lousy video game that has no business having references to shit like that in it. Really irresponsible. I'm sorry. This is not the kind of thing that I'd normally get because I found it fucking tasteless anyway before I'd used the first one you find. I think it was actually John Wayne Gacy. I'm like, why have I found a serial killer's identification? There's no. Yeah. Anyway, Deadlight is fucking trash. They probably put those ID cards in there so that people would still be talking about it now, and it doesn't deserve to be discussed. It's trash, and stay away from it. It's fucking crap. It's the second game I've played by a Spanish studio in the last couple of years. The first one was a game that had the most forgettable title in the world that was one of the shittest games I've ever played. And this is possibly shitter than that. So, yeah, I hated it. I fucking hated it.
That's angry Chet there.
And it's my own fault as well. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I'd have probably stopped Googling the first hurdle and gone, right, okay, yeah, well, there's real serial killers. Well, that's a bit weird that it's in that game. I don't think I would have clicked that link about best 50 moments, man.
I thought there's no way in the world that's real. And it was. I should have known better.
It's the internet. What do you expect?
Well, I suppose I was watching it kind of innocuously in a sort of gruesome kind of. But when that footage was in there, I don't know why that footage exists. Why is that there? That should have been destroyed. It's footage that I'm telling you, nobody wants to see that. Don't put it out of your mind. It's a double-edged sword. I knew mentioning it. If I heard me mention it, I'd be tempted to go, oh fuck, maybe I might go and have a look. Don't trust me. Do not even look at it.
Okay, right. Well, let's try and cheer ourselves up.
Yeah, please. Fuck yeah.
Fucking heavy.
Tell me it's Mario.
No. It's actually, there's a Manhunt 1 and 2 back to back. No, it's Infamous Second Son, which is a game that you kind of gave a bit of a kick in last week, and as a person that actually really liked the game, I could not argue with any of the points you raised. I mean, you were bang on. Like everything you said, the story is arse, the way characters are introduced is bizarre, the moral choices are just like offensively bad. The stuff that it does with drugs is really odd, although it didn't completely overshadow what was actually a really fun game to play. Not only to play but to look at. It's absolutely incredible to look at. There's the last boss battle is annoying as fuck, and it goes on for way too long, but it is one of the best looking things I've seen in a video game. The amount of elements that's going on, the way you're fighting each other, the particle effects are incredible. And then there are moments where you're running along rooftops in, just as the sun's setting in Seattle, and you just capture glimpses of things, and you just think it just looks incredible. It just looks incredible. I love the fact that the developers are supporting the game beyond what it is. People have complained that the frame rate drops are really annoying, so they've added a 30 frames per second locked mode. People were saying, wouldn't it be like the game's so good looking, I wish there was like a photo mode in it. They've added a really comprehensive photo mode, which really works well, and some of the photos coming from that game are just absolutely incredible. One of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life, but based on these photos and stuff. I thought it was massive. It was so short, but that didn't really bother me because it didn't outstay its welcome. I found that one of the it gives you a bunch of powers. I think one of the powers is much better than all the rest, so you barely spend. And the power that it gives you at the end, absolute shit. The moment I got it, I used it a couple of times and thought, don't want to use this no more. I'm going to go back to Neon, because that is the only one worth using, really. The telly ones, not too bad.
They were rubbish. They were the TV ones were the last ones you unlocked, though, right?
No, second to last. You unlock one more after that.
What's the one after that, then?
Should I spoil it? I suppose it don't matter, does it?
I don't know.
Do I do
is
it?
That a spoiler? I suppose it is a spoiler. I don't know. I bailed before that. I guess I thought I was right towards the end.
Don't listen if you don't want to switch off for a bit. Right at the end, literally after the final boss fight, you get concrete. Which all the enemies are using.
Oh yeah.
So you get that, and it's rubbish. It offers you no advantage over any of the others. It doesn't look as cool, and you miss the whole running really fast or flying like an angel thing. So yeah, completely pointless. But you know, as a next gen game, it's well worth your time. It's not a system seller by any means. You know, it's a proper 7 out of 10. But if you've got a PS4, then pick it up, because I think you'll enjoy it. It's a shame you didn't enjoy it as much as me.
Yeah, I did enjoy it fine. I mean, I think that it doesn't speak great volumes about people who play video games, and that a game that's got that much wrong with it can still be entertaining, because it's just like we'll take anything. I mean, there's so much wrong with it, but it is entertaining, truly. I mean, it is fun. It works. I mean, there are better games in almost every category that you could put it in. I think there's Saints Row is vaguely similar. Saints Row, the fourth one, is vaguely similar, and it's superior, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Crackdown's better. Like it's things like it has a version of the orbs from Crackdown, and they're these little flying things that you have to shoot and zap up. The difference with that, when you see them in Crackdown, you see an orb, you think, oh look, there's an orb up there. How do I get to it? You get to it, you touch it, and that's it. These things, they're hidden, they're shards, they're hidden away in these little flying things, and you have to aim and you shoot them, and they could drop down everywhere, and you've got to run and find them. Oh, fucking tedious. Like Crackdown, you see it, you get it. Brilliant. Yeah. Nice little tap on the head, little upgrade. It's stuff like that it gets wrong, that you just kind of think, well, that's the difference between a really, really fucking good game and an average one. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't destroy the game. It's just not as fun as it could have been. I don't think anyone's really got that right. A lot of people think that the appeal in Crackdown orbs was that they were hidden. It wasn't. You could see them from street levels. They were piss easy to collect. It was just like, it gave you a challenge. Right, there's something at the top of that building. I'm going to try and grab it. That's why it works so well. And then they did the pigeons in GTA. Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was. I don't know any human being who even got 1/10 of those. Why would you?
Terrible idea. And then people seem to think, well, Rockstar do it. Let's do it like this. It's wrong to do it like that. Sorry, fucking terrible. But yeah, no, I mean, but the things that I liked about the game, again, it was stunning. I thought it was stunning to look at. It was fun enough to play. I really liked Neon, and when you could start taking down enemies without killing them by firing at their feet, I thought that was really good. I enjoyed playing it like that, which you can do in any game really. Or do you shoot at the feet or go for headshots and stuff like that? It's basically that, but there was actual reason for doing it. And then the upgrade system was pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good game. Just not amazing, but I don't think it was ever going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of the wankiest games I've ever really quite liked quite a bit, and I do recommend it. I'd say that you wait until it's 20, 30 quid if you want.
20 quid would be a very, very good price point for this.
Yeah, but at the same time you're paying for the spectacle, and it does look staggering.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I do recommend it. Although it will probably do your head in.
How comes all superheroes in that world are fucking dickheads? Like a lot of them. Really. Jesus, not one normal person. They're all out there. Oh, cast away from sight. Fuck off.
Yeah. Good point. All right. Okay, well, my number 2 is the aforementioned FIFA World Cup Brazil 2014. EA Sports presents 2014 World Cup, whatever the hell that game's called, because it's called different things wherever you look. I've played it rather a lot. When you've played it for rather a lot, you started to notice the shortcuts in the presentation that are actually quite amusing. I mean, every time there's a bit of time between, whether it's after a goal's been scored or something, the very same short-haired lady celebrates, and she's just got different clothes on or a different painted flag on her face. It's always the same woman. It's always the same canned animation. She's just got different clothes on. And that very funny footage of England fans in a pub, did you see that, where it cuts to those England fans watching on the TV, and they've got those ridiculous tall England hats with the flag on?
Can I just say, I don't think they're in a pub. I think you've got this wrong.
They look like they're standing in a pub, definitely.
I think they're outside watching it on a big screen in the streets. You know, they have like a pavilion set up outside lots of grounds and stuff like that, and I watch it on a huge screen. I think they're there, man. Watch it again.
What makes you think that?
Because they're not in a pub.
They're in it. It's completely dark. There's loads of.
It's completely dark because it's like night time.
No, but the game's happening in the day.
I know, but watch it again. You can see buildings in the background.
Are you sure about
Yeah,
that?
because I was playing it the other day. I was thinking, right, okay, I'm playing this. I want to see the bit that they're talking about in the pub. And every time I went, oh look, this is the bit there in the pub. Oh no, wait, actually they're not. They're outside. There's buildings either side and stuff like that. If you, I mean, I could be wrong. I might just not have seen the cutscene, but there was the amount of times where I thought, oh, they're inside, and then it zooms out and you can kind of see the sky and stuff. I was thinking, oh, right, they're outside then. That's weird. If you could confirm that they're in the pub for me, that would really put my mind to rest, because it's all I've thought about for 3 weeks now.
There's a very slim chance that there's both, and they've just taken the front animation and replaced the back. I don't know. I'll have a look. I'm pretty sure I only ever saw them standing in a pub, but I'll check.
Right, okay.
But anyway, yeah, there's that footage where you see those England fans with those ludicrous tall hats. I played a game against Belgium, and it's exactly the same footage, but they've got berets on. And... But the game, I mean, so
play against France, they got garlic round the neck.
Exactly. That's what I thought. But yeah, there's loads of shortcuts like that are quite amusing. So it's not the lavish production that the normal FIFA games are. But as we said before, what you're paying for is the roster of all the players. So it's still technically a budget game, but the game feels more interactive because you can intercept the ball easier. I said this last week, but I've had some absolute thrillers online. Those mad scrambles that you have at the goal in every football game, you're in such control of them in this, and you can just do amazing blocks, and you can just, I don't know, it's more dynamic, it's more exciting. And they've also trimmed how long you can watch replays for online. You're restricted to watching it one time.
Excellent.
Rather than watching it for almost 30 seconds and then watching your players walk around in slow-mo afterwards. I mean, it takes the piss, that does. But yeah, one replay, that's good. And the more I play it, the more I like it. It's really exciting in ways that FIFA hasn't been for me in a little while. Maybe it's just the tournament trimmings and the confetti and everything, because that always works for me. But... I think it's really good, and I've been playing it online shitloads. And also, maybe it's just, I don't know, playing it online, there's actually a replication of the Real Cup. You did go through the group stage, and I don't know.
I love that mode. I think it's so good. I got totally addicted to that in the South African World Cup game. Yeah, it was amazing. Going back to what you talk about with the little gaps that you can see in the presentation, this one's more for the fans of football, but it's worth buying just to see Roy Hodgson mapped onto like a normal manager's animations. So a normal manager would be jumping up and down and cheering when their team scores. Roy Hodgson doesn't do that, but when you see Roy Hodgson doing that, it's fucking hilarious. Like, fucking just pumping his fists and stuff like that. God, if he did that in real life, he'd break a hip or something. I love it.
Yeah, it's funny. John sent me a picture of him running with the England team, and I was like, "What? What the fuck? What? He's just going to keel over. He's like 95. Why is he running with the football players?" But I don't know.
He should be sitting down, but no. When he watches England, he sort of just sits there with a frown and shaking his head, like the rest of us. I've never seen him jump up and down, jump onto the pitch and stuff. Mourinho style.
But yeah, I recommend it. I think it's really good.
Good. Right, we've both got the same number one, I assume then.
No. Oh fuck! I know what yours is, but no, it's not on my list because I've got to stop putting it on my list because I never have anything to say about it.
Yeah. So my number one is Titanfall on the Xbox One entertainment system. It's incredible. What a fucking video game. Should I get the negative stuff out of the way first?
Yep.
Runs pretty shit on the Xbox One. Didn't blow me away visually. It drops frames all over the place. That's about it. The only other negative thing I'd say is that I kind of feel that I've seen everything it's got to offer already, and I haven't played it for that long, probably 5 or 6 hours, and I kind of feel like I've seen everything and I'm not going to see anything new now, which is weird because although I'm still really enjoying it, I am very aware that there's not actually that much content within the game to sort of drive home how much you spent on it. Do you know what I mean? Do you not feel that? Do you feel that you feel that there's still more to come from what's on the disc?
Yeah, but it's I've heard that complaint a little bit, and I don't really understand it because the content is the core of what the game is. I think you create your own. It's. I think what this is going to sustain many other games, and it
Yeah, I
hasn't
mean,
got boring for me.
Look, it's fantastic, right? It's really good. You play it over and over and over again. Like you'll play it, you won't get bored of it, you won't get tired of it. But it's a full price game, and you expect a certain amount of shit to do in a full price game, and essentially you can't substitute expected time play with content. Especially when you're asking for that amount of money, like I can spend hours and hours playing freeze, and that cost me next to nothing. But there's not much, there's one game mode, and it's the same thing over and over again. I kind of feel like that's the same with Titanfall. That you've got a lot of game modes there, and that's fine. But you kind of feel like you've seen everything pretty quickly, especially because leveling it up is so quick. And by the time you get to, I'm on level 42 at the moment, and I kind of feel that there's nothing that game's going to add to make me change the way I'm playing it and what I'm doing. But it's a weird gripe. I know it's a little bit nitpicky or whatever, and I don't really want to focus on what I dislike about the game, because there's so much more that I like about the game. I love how you can go on streaks. I love how you always feel that you're constantly involved with a battle, even though it's only 6 aside, and even if you're not very good at first-person shooters, you can feel properly involved in what's going on. Some of the game modes are insanely good. Last Titan Standing is fucking brilliant if you get a good couple of teams together. I mean, we were playing last night, and the last Titan Standing games with them was really good, I thought, because we had a pretty decent team, good tactics. We were basically trying to rush them. They were hanging back, and then there were times where we would hang back, they'd try and rush us, and it was, sometimes the tactic was working, sometimes we'd get overrun. Sometimes you're concentrating on one Titan, not realising that you're being surrounded by all his mates, and you just think, oh fuck, here we go. I love it when you go on a massive kill streak. I went on a really long kill streak last night, and I felt like a fucking god. And that's what that game can do. That game can make you feel like you're one of the best first-person players on the face of the planet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
There are moments in that game where you think, I'm brilliant at this. I'm brilliant. I'm the best player at this. And then you look at the scoreboard and you're way down. You think, how is that possible? I've done really well. There's been the first time I smashed through another Titan to grab the pilot out and threw him on the floor is a moment I won't forget for a long time. And even losing games, as you say, that has been mentioned time and time again, the whole attrition thing where you've got to run back to the dropship, and if you make it, it's like a little mini game. Well, I had a moment the other day where I'm running in with my Titan to where the dropship was about to pick us up. There's 2 enemy Titans around. I spend some time trying to get their health low to get them a little bit nervous. Then just as I was about to explode, I jumped out straight from the Titan into the second story of the building that I needed to get to, run up, and literally I saw the counter going 3, like the dropship was leaving in 3, 2, and as it hit 1, I'd managed to jump onto it, and I was just like, fuck, this is like that first time that I completed a level of Left 4 Dead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of proper adrenaline pumping, and when you do it, you just think, fucking yes. And my team had lost. Do you know what I mean? The game still made me feel amazing. My team had lost. So I really, really like Titanfall, and I'm going to be playing it for a long, long time, I think. Long time.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that whole thing about feeling like there's not enough content or you've seen everything, is that just because of the hype, do you reckon?
No, it's hard to, I can see what you're saying, because like, how is it any different to any other first-person shooter like that? And I suppose it's not. I suppose maybe because it is just the multiplayer, which is something that we've all wanted. We don't want Battlefield with, these. I suppose because there's like 3 Titans chassis, and there's the choice of, all right, there's the choice of like 5 or 6 weapons for your Titans, stuff like that. And you just kind of think, I expected a little bit more. Do you know?
But it's so perfectly balanced. That's why.
Oh no,
that's why it's
that stuff is. The game is insanely good. It is, but like again, like you were saying that they were looking to patch in customizable Titans and stuff.
Is that
right?
happening?
I don't know. I thought I heard you say that a couple of weeks ago. But why can't you? Why can't I colour my Titan? Why can't I stick a fucking flag on the top of my Titan as he's running around and stuff like that? There's extra layers that could have been added to it to make me think, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, why can't I customise my pilot a little bit more? You know, make it feel a little bit more personal to me. Why isn't there 10 different chassis for your Titan? Why is there only 3? I don't get that.
That might unbalance things. I mean, this is the thing. For me, every time I play Titanfall, I feel that the amount of work that's gone into it. I mean, it's like an Uncharted game goes on for like 3 times longer than you'd expect because the whole thing's lavish. The amount of time and just effort has been made in just making it so balanced. I can't remember a game like this that's felt this totally ready. I mean, Black Ops 2 was the last COD game that really excited me because they were really doing things with the format, but they hadn't had the time to play test it. There's too much wrong with it. There's too many ways to game the fucking. And this is just ready. It's still ready now. It still works. It's still fucking glorious. I mean,
no, it's not ready. I mean, there's still beta in modes, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? What's that about?
Well, that's just so you can play against. If we have 12 people, we can do 6v6.
I think the customizable stuff isn't going to unbalance the game. And
sure, it's not. But then again, it's extra time. If it was in the game, it would have been less time to make the game. This is what I mean. I think the game's essentially perfect at its core. So everything that they've done, every decision they made, as far as I'm concerned, is the correct one. I don't care about customization options. Maybe they'll bring that in at some point. But yeah, the whole I feel like I've seen everything it's got to offer. I don't really understand that because I don't feel like I've seen. I don't think I'll ever see everything that game's got to offer. Really.
How can I don't know? That's mad. I don't know what you could possibly see that you haven't seen already in that game now. And I'm not putting it down. Like, I fucking love it. Like, I love it. I love it. I just kind of think, for a full price game, I expected more shit to do within the game, if you know what I mean.
But having more shit to do within the game would have meant the game would have been lesser.
Not necessarily.
Well, of course, necessarily, because every second that they spent working on that game, they've made that game, and I think they fucking made every decision they made was the correct one. The game's the game.
Yeah, maybe right.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it. I think I think everyone should be mindful of the actual, just the core of it's perfect, and they could have. I don't know. We'll see what they do to it. Whether the new maps unbalances things, or something. But I'm just amazed that it works as well as it does straight out of the box. I think it's great. And I'm. Maybe it is just the lack of a single player or something. I mean, because I don't feel.
I don't think it is that. I don't think it is that. I liked the campaign idea that they tried to do with it. I don't think it particularly worked, but I did like what they were trying to do with it. Trying to sort of merge a campaign with some online multiplayer. I thought it was a cool idea. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just again turned into grumpy gamer. Because there are things that still blow my mind. Like, I think the abilities that you got for your Titan and your pilots, I just think it's so perfect. I would like to be invisible, but seeing through walls for a brief moment is a really, really fucking cool mechanic that's helped me gain lots of pilot kills. And it stops people camping because you can't camp when other people are seeing through walls. Do you know what I mean? That sort of shit is superb. But yeah,
but that's that kind of system. Being able to see through walls could unbalance the things big time. I mean, I don't use that. I use the stim pack, which if I'm smart about it, I can sort of get the drop on somebody who's seen me coming, because it's balanced. That's what I mean. I don't know. I really, really love it to pieces. So
yeah, it is an excellent video game, Chet. I am not saying anything otherwise. I'm just saying I just kind of think maybe it feels not like a full price game. I know that's weird, but sorry, that's my feeling.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Incidentally, it seems to have dropped to half price. I keep seeing it available for £30 from most sort of retailers.
For £30?
Yeah.
Literally can't complain about anything. It's the best £30 you'd spend. Absolutely. But didn't it launch for 50?
Or 60, I don't know. I mean, it's gone down in price quite quickly, but then again, I suppose it's because they're giving those codes away with the box so much that I suppose the perceived value of the game's dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. It's quite a good game.
I think with the second one, all they need to do is maybe come up with some more unique game modes would be nice, and then just whack as much customization in there as possible. That's what I'd like to see.
All right, good, cool. Okay, well, my number one is a game called Child of Light on the PlayStation 4. It's also available on the Xbox One, 360, Nintendo Wii U even. It's available on everything. Have you played? You haven't played this at all, have you?
No, not at all. I'd heard a lot about it, but...
it's an Ubisoft. It's kind of like a fairy tale. It's about this duke's daughter called Aurora, and it's at the beginning she dies, or does she? Is she kidnapped? Is it a dream? Is she in limbo? Nobody knows. It looks amazing. It's done in this kind of watercolor style. It looks. I mean, the visuals really are quite something to behold, especially considering it's made by such a small team. The tone of the game is surprisingly harsh and grim, and there's no respite at all. The only sweetness is to be found in those visuals, which are really appealing. Even when you're in sort of dank, cavernous places, it looks absolutely gorgeous. All of the dialogue, there's a couple of monologues in the game, but all of the dialogue is text only, and it's all done in rhyme, and it doesn't really translate. It becomes a tad twee. Reading lines and lines of terrible rhyming couplets sort of loses its appeal. I prefer it if it was all spoken, because then it could have sort of, a bit of light, savvy voice acting wouldn't have gone amiss. I think it would have, not made it seem so twee, but. It's a side-on sort of RPG that's also a platformer kind of. You're followed around by this firefly, and he absorbs sources of light by touching them. And it's very much like the star bits in Super Mario Galaxy. And actually, it has a similar two-player system where somebody can just control the firefly. So there are sort of similarities there. And ostensibly, the combat in it is turn-based because it's an RPG. But there's, in addition to it, it's turn-based, but it's not. There's this timer at the bottom of the screen that runs along, and each character who's in the battle has a little sort of ticker. And at the final stretch of this timer, there's a red section where you can cast your attacks. And if you attack when your opponent's icon is in that red casting section, they bypass an attack, so you sort of make them miss a turn. And they go back to the beginning. And what makes it interesting is that you can use the firefly to highlight a specific enemy, sort of basically blind them with the light, and that slows down their ticker, so you can beat them again and then knock them back and force them to miss another turn. It sounds complicated. It's really not. You can also use your firefly to sort of buff your guy's health very moderately. But this is kind of where there's a bit of a strange dichotomy, because it looks at first like it's going to be a really good entry-level RPG, but it starts becoming really taxing. There's no difficulty spikes as such, but there's also no scaling, so you can happen upon a really difficult battle kind of accidentally, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of way to manoeuvre between them if you want to sort of progress. And if you're looking for something really meaty, this isn't it. I know it's a budget sort of download-only game, but it's not. There's something about the structure of these games, of this style of RPG. And maybe it's just because it's been the same structure for so many gigantic games that it feels like you take up an epic quest that never quite arrives. But to be honest, I'm all for it. I like the fact that this is like a sort of smash and grab 8-10 hour game, and then it's over. There's a lack of filler. I mean, there's things wrong with it. The upgrade tree is almost completely pointless. You can't pick a tack to choose. You can't sort of do anything. You just choose these points and they upgrade skills almost at random. So there's no real strategy there. And it's quite slight, but the combat is terrific. It's really quite engaging throughout. I mean, it's slightly muddled, I'd say, but it's definitely recommended.
Cool.
You'll never play that ever, will you?
Nope. I don't know. I don't. Maybe if what platform's it out for at the moment?
It's on absolutely everything. David, don't even bother playing it. I know there's no point. It's kind of similar, vaguely similar to South Park in duration and style, but it's fairies dancing around and little villagers and everyone talks.
Wow.
It's a kids game, but there's I don't know. It's a bit muddled, but it's difficult not to like because it does work very well.
Okay, well, definitely not going to play that one then.
Genuine.
And that's it, isn't it?
That's it. That's up. Yeah, we're done. That's it.
Smashed it. I feel rusty. Did I sound rusty? I feel rusty.
Not particularly. No, you sounded like you, I guess. Is Joypod coming back or what?
No, it's not coming back. I'm fed up of it. Michael Fox.
You must be able to just jump on and do a couple of specials now and again. People would really appreciate it.
Nah. I don't know. No, I mean, yeah, maybe soon. Something. I don't know. Isn't it nice that we're not doing it anymore for a bit?
A break's always nice, but people really did like that show. So
yeah, I really liked it as well. But it's kind of hard when you've got a screaming baby in your face, and a wife that's doesn't know if she's made the right choice in the father of her child. And understandably so. I mean, I'm a terrible human being.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yep.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you very much for listening. Who are you on Twitter?
David Turners. Follow me and we'll have a chat.
David Turners with an S.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm Chet Rovers. John Denton's not here. We're Chet and John's on Twitter, Facebook, etc. We're on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll be back next week. Hopefully there won't be a grim turn into horror. But yeah, thanks very much for listening. See you later. Goodbye.
I see you know your judo well.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look.